Hello, guys, and welcome to tonight's episode. Tonight's episode is obvious of the Bleach live action movie. Now, first things first, before the video starts, this episode starts, I know what I said about the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood live action movie. I know and went with that before. I gave it a 9 out of 10, mainly because of certain things, like the characters, because I thought they nailed the characters, I guess, in such certain way. That was the main reason why. It wasn't because it was a compilation or a mixture of what happened in the original series and in Brotherhood. That was mainly based off of the manga. Now, with this one, welcome to Reviews on Fire. Charjr Ryuki's Reviews on Fire. Let's get into this. Let's get into this movie. When I heard that they were coming out with this, and there's already teasers that they're going to bring out a second one. Now, from what I remember from the first season, I guess from Bleach, Ichigo never officially defeated the Grand Fisher. He never took him out. His father did later on. The fight that Ichigo had with Uryu after he found out Uryu Ishida was a Quincy, and that storyline came in. That's the fight that they fought together. That they fought the Manos Grande together. It's just, with this one, they had them fight together against the Grand Fisher, and making that the big final fight. Yes, that was an emotional part, like Ichigo, but here in live action, they made him regret not being able to protect his mom. There was the line in the anime from when it starts that Ichigo as a kid said he was going to protect his mom, and his mom ended up protecting him and dying because she was killed by a Hollow, the Grand Fisher. Here in the live action, he dreams about it a couple of times. You see like the beginning of it, and it acts as if it's a dream. And anything that happens with the Soul Reapers fighting the Hollows, especially with Rukia and Ichigo, they like, oh, it's a tornado. Oh, you could hear that truck crash into the building. They made it, oh, it's just a dream. And the guy who always seems to cause mischief and just total BS and a total joke, I can't remember the guy's name. I know there's another person who was along with that, and he's the guy that just deals with it, just, always messes with his phone. That guy wasn't involved, but yet the goof was, and they made it seem that Orihime already had a crush, and it was quite obvious she had a crush on Ichigo, like right off the bat, right at the start. And Tachiki, they changed Tachiki. They changed her. She's the karate expert. She's like the tomboy. They completely took that away and said like, oh, she's not a martial arts expert. She's not a karate black belt. And yet, as a kid, both her and Ichigo trained in karate. This wasn't even a part of that. Yeah, just like in the first episode, Ichigo beat up a couple of thugs for being disrespectful to a boy's spirit who got hit by a vehicle the time he died. And Chad came in and backed him up. I guess in this one, I don't remember them actually coming back and attacking Ichigo again with a skateboard. But about the characters, do I think that they picked the right people to play the roles for Byakuya, Renji, Kuchiki, or Rukia Kuchiki, Urahara, Ishida, Chad, Orihime, Tatsuki. Besides Tatsuki, besides what they did with her, I think yes, in a way. I believe Orihime should have the flower hairpin on both sides, not just on one. And where was her part in this too? She had a part too. And it was when the fight with the Grand Fisher, when Chad and Orihime all of a sudden now can feel when Ichi goes around when he's a Reaper. When that appeared later on, when they fought against their own hollows by themselves. At the start of this, I was like, there's some funny parts. There's still that, they're like their dad acting like talking to them like a 14-year-old, being a goof. But you think, even if he does cook every now and then, I'm pretty sure Yuzu, from what I remember in the anime, actually doing most of the cooking. If not all of it. In the anime, Ishin, Ichigo's dad, wasn't present. In the anime, even if he was there early on and left. Here, he's there, and Rukia knocks him out with the Soul Reaper spell, and leaves when the Grand Fisher makes its appearance. And Ichigo saves his sisters. And he makes a promise to protect Rukia. And he meets Urahara, who tells him where their Soul Reapers' favorite spot, where their Soul Reaper gate to the Soul Society is. They basically made it so that Rukia does get her powers back. She doesn't get forcibly taken. Even though in the anime she didn't really get forcibly taken, she willingly left so Ichigo would live. Here, in a way, she got her powers back triple fold. Because Ichigo was willing to risk his life to protect her from her overbearing a-hole of a brother Byakuya. She was sure that when this happened, when she got her powers back, that everything that happened to him before, from when they first met to then, would all go away. That the memory of it would be completely erased. But then the ending credits was, I'm here at the Soul Society, redeeming myself, my sins and all this and that. I'm pretty sure that all the memories of all the stuff that happened when I was there, shut up phone, were completely erased, were completely clean, scot-free. I think when when he read, "Don't make a scene or you're dead," at the end. I mean, it's just funny. The funny part where it was like the constant joke where a truck hit Ichigo's house. Oh, wait, is he okay? He died. He died on the spot. Oh, I'm alive. Come on, guys are so gullible. That did get old, even though it happened I would say 3 times, 3 maybe 4. I guess if you count the ending. With Chad also involved. And it was the thing is, Ichigo in the anime was also a friend of Uryu, or at least he knew who Uryu was, or who he was. At least he knew him, but he didn't know that he was a Quincy until it was time to face a Menos Grande, which is what Ichigo fought before Rukia left with Renji and Byakuya before she got her powers returned to her. Which, in the anime, she never got her powers back. She got her powers back afterwards. Ichigo never gave her powers back. Not like how they ended the live action. In my own opinion, the Bleach live action movie that's on Netflix here ended with a whimper. That it was quite disappointing. It was quite sad, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was an enjoyable movie. It was enjoyable. Especially during the fight scenes, they at least had some good music to back it up. But that was pretty much it. The female actor, the girl who played Rukia, Urahime, and Tachi, I gotta admit, they're cute as hell. They're cute as a button. But I think they chose right with Renji. I think they chose perfectly for Byakuya. Ishida, perfect. Even though it's just, he gets stabbed by Renji in the end. At the end fight. After the Grand Fisher was taken out by Ichigo. Even though that actually didn't happen in the anime. From what I don't exactly remember right off the bat that Renji stabs Uryu. I don't remember that. So let me know in the comments. But I don't know if I should remain on the fence or at least give it a rating above that. I ain't gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I'm not gonna give it out of 7 10. No, it don't deserve a 7 out of 10. Shirzak don't deserve a 9 out of 10. But then I hear that I see after doing a little research that there's a possible, just like with the Full Metal one and the I think there's another one that I've seen, like Death Note, the horrible Death Note, Netflix Death Note, yeah, that was horrible. That they're talking about bringing another part of it, where Ichigo has a different sword, where he unleashes his other Zanbakuto, his Zanbakuto separate form. And that's when I don't believe Ichigo used the Getsuga Tensho beforehand in the anime. Maybe he did at least once, but then he didn't actually use it until after he unleashed the power of his Zanbakuto by calling it by its name. And it was by unleashing Zangetsu. It was pretty sad. And the thing is, I even had to go back to make sure by checking the anime. So, yeah, I had to make sure of that. It's just upsetting that they made him regret of what happened with his mom, that continued on, that he was saved again by Rukia. It's not like he didn't want to be saved. It's the fact that he wants to protect someone. He failed to protect his mom when he said that he would. And that stuck with him. And he, like, I'm not strong enough to protect anyone. Because there's this moment between him and Ishin, his father, that I'm not strong enough to protect anyone. And his father says, no, I think you're wrong there. And that's when Ichigo decides, okay, instead of just being a jerk and not going along with this, I'm going to try and save her. And that's when he obviously, because he obviously knows that if Rukia goes back as she is, she'll die. So that's why he decides he's going to go ahead, take up a challenge, and make a deal with Byakuya and Reggie to take on the Grand Fisher and defeat it, so that Rukia can get her powers back and go back without dying. But Byakuya, well, just like in the anime, he's a jerk. And would rather just kill the both of them and just go be on with it. Just follow the code and just be on with it. But Ichigo is the one who basically abolished the Soul Reaper code. He's like, I don't give a damn about your Soul Reaper code. I'm going to do whatever the heck I want. If my friends are in danger, I'm going to protect them. And that's the thing. Him and Rukia became friends. Even though it was misunderstood that they were dating. Yeah, they were close. But I wouldn't say boyfriend and girlfriend close. Yeah, it was an emotional end at least with Rukia. On her end. She made a human friend. And I guess in a way, the actress who played her did a great job showing that emotion. Because to Byakuya, Soul Reapers, I guess in my own words, Soul Reapers are like soldiers. They're not to show emotion. Any emotion will make them weak. Any bonds that they make will make them weak. Just like we've seen stuff like that before. Whether it's in anime or in TV shows or anything of the sort. We always have that one person who's so stuck up on what he grew up on, the code and everything else, that no bond or anything that would make him even stronger. It's as if he doesn't care that he has a little sister or a friend or a brother. No care whatsoever. Which is a lesson that Ichigo beats into him. Because that's when Byakuya Kyuchiki starts to, show some effort as being the Rukia's big brother. But that's in the anime. That's not in this one. And in that scene where that last look of Ichigo that Ichigo had, where Rukia gets her Soul Reaper powers back, and her Renji, and Byakuya go back to the Soul Society. And Ichigo's last lines were in that moment was, "I was protected again," with tears in his eyes. I ain't saying that the acting and the choreography wasn't bad. It was quite good. Quite funny, in some ways, especially with the training that Ichigo had to go through. It was hilarious, to be quite honest. But to be honest, for the end of this episode, if you guys don't want to see what I'm talking about, go look on Netflix. It's on there. I'm gonna give the Bleach live action a 6 out of 10. And that, my friends, concludes this episode. So I want to thank you guys for watching. So let's cool down and look forward for the next episode. Peace.